This is Matt.
And this is Topher.
And this is Out of Bed.
And this is the first week we have our quote-unquote official intro music. That is Hip Hop On, brought to you by some guy on audiojungle.com.
I almost head nodded my way through that intro.
Yeah, so just a little behind the scenes for everybody. First off, my name is Topher, and this is my co-host Matt Palmer, and this is our podcast Out of Bed. Now, I'm not going to talk about the podcast for a little bit. I want to talk about this intro music because me and Matt and Aaron fought over this intro music. We're still fighting over it. Aaron does not like that song. I can tell you right now that Aaron doesn't want that as the song. And I had a very specific vision for what this song would be, and Matt was like, yeah, I get that, and Aaron's like,
I'm like, whatever.
Yeah. Matt. I don't want to like make it seem like it's me and Matt versus the world. Like Matt is like just barely more on my side than he is on Aaron's.
You brought a folding chair to the table.
That's true. I always bring a folding chair to the table because any pro wrestling fan will tell you that you should always have a folding chair on you at all times. It is necessary because you have to protect yourself. Maryland is an open carry state for folding chairs. So anyway, this is the Folding Chair Podcast, brought to you by, I was trying to think of a sponsor that we mentioned in the past 2 minutes.
By Gray Metal.
Gray Metal. What? Oh, folding chairs are gray.
What are they, steel?
Anyway,
what
nice.
are they?
Steel, yeah, steel chairs. They're a steel chair. It is cold, hard steel. That is what Vince McMahon wants you to think. Anyway, we have a guest.
Show.
We actually have a podcast. I'm so sorry. Please welcome our guest, Krissy. Krissy, how are you doing today?
I'm great.
Awesome. So nice to meet you. We have not met before. We've met about 5 minutes ago, maybe. Yeah, that's a time. And we also have another guest here who is our newest roommate. So I would like to also introduce our other guest, Kevin. Kevin, can you say hello, like just loudly near the microphone? Yeah, there we go.
Hey guys, it's me, Kevin.
Kevin, what's your last name?
Ramirez.
Good, because I didn't know that. I forgot my roommate's last name. That's the only reason I brought him on the podcast, was to get to know my new roommate.
You guys literally have been roommates for a day, right?
No, when you officially moved in on Sunday. Like you slept here Sunday night.
Sunday.
Yeah. So Kevin is a student at Micah. I'm sure we'll get him on the podcast. Eventually, he might leave at some point because he's probably got better shit to do. Which I wouldn't blame you, because sometimes I do too. But anyway, we have a guest. I'm so sorry. Before we talk to our guest more, I actually need to say what this podcast is about.
Yes,
I'm all over the place today.
That's all right.
It's this whiskey that Aaron gave me is really good.
We got to top last week's show, which was 3.5 hours long. So.
It might as well have been. Jeez. So Out of Bed is the podcast where myself and Matt, we hang out with our friends. This week we are hanging out with somebody who is not our friend, but I'm hoping by the end of this podcast, you will be our friend.
Absolutely.
That'll be great. So we talk to our friends about what they're passionate about, what they're interested in, and just in general, what gets them out of bed in the morning. So with that, Krissy, what gets you out of bed?
What gets me out of bed in the morning? So honestly, my 8-month-old puppy gets me out of bed in the morning.
Really? Oh my gosh. Yep. This may be the best episode of Out of Bed ever. Can you please tell us anything and everything about your 8-month-old puppy?
Yes, absolutely. So he is a German Shepherd Husky mix. He is
so cute.
The coolest dog in the world. I got him in January, and his name is Chase, and he is the greatest dog ever. He really is.
Who's up first?
He's my
you or
shadow.
Him?
What's that?
Who's up first? You or him?
Oh, me.
Really? Yeah. Wow, you beat Chase out of bed? No, he's out of bed immediately.
He's in my face immediately, ready to get out of bed.
Yeah. That's fair. Ever since Aaron moved in, that's been the exact same way. Every morning, he just walks into my room. He's just right in my face every single morning. It's really, really frustrating. So I get that.
Yeah.
But I imagine that Chase is much cuter than Aaron, right?
He is a pretty cute dog.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I can imagine.
He's a cute dog. I've got so many.
I can't
pictures
wait.
of
Yes,
him.
yeah. Please, let's see pictures. This is
Yes.
perfect for an audio format, folks.
It
We're gonna
really is.
look at pictures together.
We were actually going to bring him on
Wait, you were gonna bring?
I was gonna bring.
You were gonna bring him, and you didn't?
because the cat.
Well,
We didn't want to intrude on the cat's territory, so this is my little boy.
yes. Please pass this around. I need to see Chase.
What are you doing here? Is my
Yeah,
question.
why are you
Like,
not with Chase? Like at all times.
He looks a
I
lot funner
am.
than this thing.
I would
my
never not be with this dog. He looks like a rabbit. I loved it. Like his
They're
ears.
ginormous.
His ears are amazing. That is so adorable.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. My gosh, I could talk about him for hours.
Please do. That's what this podcast. So, what about Chase gets you out of bed? Obviously, I mean, just caring for his life.
Yeah. Just being around him. He's just this happy dog. He's not a little dog. He's 65 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big boy. Going everywhere with him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he gets me out of the house. We go to all these different events that are dog friendly. I found out so many new restaurants that are dog friendly.
Oh, that's
which
so
is
cool.
amazing because I live in Lutherville.
Yeah.
So Towson, I never really knew it was so pet friendly
Right.
Mm-hmm.
until I got him. And I'm meeting new neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
I'm meeting, everyone's more social when there's a dog around.
Oh, totally. Yeah. It's like it's a great icebreaker. Mm-hmm. Like if you don't know like what to say to somebody, just be like, "Oh, cute dog." Am I right? You just
Right.
start talking about the dog forever.
The more you're talking, the more I realize how similar toddlers and puppies are.
So, okay, I agree with you 100%. And please speak more on that, and then I have a point to make about
Like
it. But go ahead.
I am a wildly uninteresting person.
That's
but when
true. I can
have
vouch
my
for that.
children with me, they're like, "Oh wow, look, you like had a part in their creation. Cool. Like,
Mm-hmm.
tell me about them."
A very minimal part.
Yeah.
By the way, yeah.
But like, they
But a crucial.
Yeah, crucial though.
Yeah, my kids smile, they slobber, they eat, like they run all over the place. Like
Do they trail water like he does?
they knock water
Miles
over.
Away. Yeah.
And they know.
Yep.
Oh, so it's like a cat then.
Like
Just, like,
tonight,
knocking shit over.
tonight I was making dinner and my son comes in and it, like with no like rhyme or reason just goes spills water right on the floor and then walks out. And I'm like, "Come on, dudes." And like we have cats too, so like they're like much more cleanly than our human being children, but I just imagine like the similarities I'm hearing you and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is dead
Yes.
on."
It's a good way of deciding if you want kids.
Yeah.
It's like a starter
Pretty much.
child.
It's a starter
I
child.
should,
Yeah.
I should have got a puppy.
You should have gotten a puppy instead of two amazing children.
Yeah. Don't tell my wife.
Yeah, don't Casey, don't,
Don't
listen to
listen.
this episode. I'm so sorry. We'll put a warning at the beginning, content warning for Casey.
Had you ever had a dog before?
Just a family dog. Not one that I was raising on my own. So it's
What kind
a
of
whole
dog
new world.
was that? Like, did you have that family dog? Was it like you grew up with the family dog and then it
Yep.
died and you were really sad?
Well,
or
we got my family. I mean, we had beagles when I was really young,
Mm-hmm.
and then we had a yellow lab when I was in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Might have been 9th grade, actually, maybe high school. And she just grew up with us, and it was maybe 5 years ago that we had to put her down. And
Oh, no.
yeah, it's
I mean, it
it's like
happened,
losing
yeah.
a family member. It's so tough.
jeez.
So what made you think like, yeah, I'm gonna do this by myself? Like I'm gonna take this
have
on.
been talking about this for so long,
Mm-hmm.
and I came up with excuse after excuse, like, oh, I don't have time, and I finally was like, you know what? There's never going to be a good time. Just go for it.
It does sound like
This is
Yeah, it sounds exactly like
raising
Yeah.
a child.
Yeah, it sounds exactly.
So I found him through a breeder, and that was it.
Yeah.
I went, and oh my gosh, when I went to pick him out, I put my hands out, and he like put his head right into my hands, and I was like, yep,
You're the one.
that's the one.
Was he like a little tiny baby at that point?
He was the biggest puppy you've ever seen in your life. He was like a 20-pound puppy.
What?
When
How old
I
was he?
went to see him, he was 10 weeks old. 9 weeks old. I'm sorry. 9 weeks old. And he was like 20 pounds.
Oh my.
And you're just like,
I was like, oh, I'll go pick him up and hold
Yeah.
him. It was like heaving this little thing up into my arms. I had to do like a double take with him.
and he just like ran up to you and just like put his head like just right in your hand.
Yeah. And he ran off with his sister. And
That's I hear that's like adopting children. Actually, it's the same way. Like the kids just like run up to you and just be like, adopt me, please. May I have
Please, sir.
some more?
I'm so
Some more.
cute.
Please, may I have some more? Why do we always think of all orphans like
As little British
as
kids,
little British kids?
Moffish British kids.
Yeah, or Annie.
And puppies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's not
Yep.
Oliver Twist.
Oliver Twist. Yeah.
What did we say?
We said little British kids, which is close enough.
Right?
I mean, that's pretty. Yeah, Oliver Twist, little British kids. That's pretty similar. Although I'd say in terms of Annie, I'd say a puppy is like way more adoptable than like a redhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's the whole soul question and all
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Yeah, you don't know what's going on over there.
Right.
Yeah. We're probably gonna edit that part out.
So
where I
And the
questioned
disclaimer for redheads.
where we questioned whether or not redheads have souls.
And we've lost 1/3 of our fan base. So,
Why did we have that many redheads listening to this podcast? That's so weird.
what were we doing in the previous 5 episodes?
It really-
hitting them square in the
really hit
chest
that
we,
demographic
just
hard.
said, you know what? We're gonna piss them off right now. Let's just go right after.
Were we
Soulless.
were we using Ed Sheeran as like the intro song for every episode?
Yes.
He was
Wait.
our sponsor.
Fun fact. We'll get back to our guest, the person who's actually like here for a reason in a second. I sold Ed Sheeran a guitar once.
What?
I technically sold Ed Sheeran a guitar once. So I used to work in music and arts.
Hold on. You said you started this. I sold Ed Sheeran a guitar,
And then
once.
I qualified
you
it with technically.
Technically,
Yes.
And now the next sentence will be, I did not sell Ed Sheeran.
Okay,
Knew
so
a guy who knew a guy.
I sold. Okay, so I get a call. I get a call one day from like 90. What's like the pop radio station in Baltimore? There's like
104.3.
no. There's like a more
I am a 13-year-old
like something with
boy.
like a 9 in it. There's like a 9.
99.1, 98 Rock.
99.5 is
92Q,
DC.
99.5.
99.5. It was 99.5.
That's
DC.
DC. Okay, so it was 99.5. 99.5 calls, and they say Ed Sheeran is going to be playing at Maryland Live Casino, and he is doing a private concert for like some contest winners, and the winner, like one of the contest winners, is going to get his guitar that he plays. So I just need a cheap piece of crap guitar, and to like have Ed Sheeran play for like 4 songs and then give to some random 13-year-old girl. And then a representative from 99.5 came in later that day, and I sold him like this cheap ass Laurel Canyon guitar, and because they were like, do you have Martins? Because Ed Sheeran only plays Martin guitars, and first of all, you're not going to find a Martin for cheap.
That's not a cheap guitar.
Yeah, that's not a cheap guitar. That's what he plays. And I was like, no, we don't have Martins because we sell instruments to beginners, and so we don't have any like fancy things. And he was like, okay, well, whatever you got. So no, it was Eastman. It was an Eastman guitar. It wasn't a Laurel Canyon. So I sold this guy from 99.5 an Eastman guitar that Ed Sheeran might have played. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Redheads don't have souls. Anyway, Krissy, tell us more about your dog, please. Oh man, I need to stop drinking before this podcast.
No more Sagamore.
No more Sagamore. Okay. So taking care of a life. That's kind of like we've mentioned that you're taking care of dogs. We've talked about how similar that is to kids. That transitions into your job, I believe. If I'm correct in knowing what your job is, I think that translates to your job. Tell us about that. Does it translate? Does it translate? You told me a thing. Maybe it doesn't.
I know literally nothing about you, so like I feel like we just went up to the ledge.
What do you do as a job?
I am an emergency technician and a firefighter for Baltimore County.
That has
takes
nothing to do with like
You're taking care of lives, right? Emergency. Wait, no. What am I thinking?
Saving
There's
lives.
a professional dog service person later. That's
I was
another
thinking
guess.
that's taking care of like you're taking care of a life in a way because you're saving it. You're saving a
true.
life. That's what I was going at. Come on, people, stick with me. Jeez. So you
go
save
through
lives.
that transition.
You're a hero. Your job is to be a hero. Continue. I'm sorry. Oh gosh. All right, Matt, you can run this. I'm sorry.
Aaron, like let's explain this.
Yeah,
whole
let's.
format.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Aaron like said like, all right, I'll book the guest, but I'm not going to tell you anything about her before she gets in. So literally, this is like all the fallout of it right now, and like Chris is like jumping into all the potholes all at once. And he's like, "Oh yeah, this totally ties in." No,
we can tie it in. We can totally tie it in.
Okay, hold on. Can somebody please see my train of logic? Kevin, do you see it? Do you see where I'm going with this?
Here's how I'll tie
Kevin
it in
is
for
currently
you.
staring at you with a blank look.
To be fair, he's stared at me like that ever since he moved in.
All right, so here's my tie-in.
Okay, go. Yeah, please save me.
So, German Shepherds and Belgian Malinois are police dogs.
Okay.
So, police are first responders,
Boom.
which are also firefighters.
6 degrees to get Chrissy's job. We did it.
Boom.
Done. All right, cool. What got you into that? Like, is that something that you like have wanted to do for a long time, or
No.
no?
Actually,
Okay,
it's an interesting story.
I would love to hear it.
I actually had run-ins with the fire department for years, and I never considered
That sounds
the job.
bad.
Well, yeah, I got a story. I have a story of that too. And I was on a pre-physical therapy track, and I woke up one day, I just didn't want to do it anymore. So I decided to check out first responders, and I reached out to a couple of friends to see what track I should go with it. And they said, start volunteering. They'll pay for all of your classes, and then you can decide what you want to do from there. So I joined Cockeysville Volunteer Fire Company. I got my emergency medical technician certificate and fell in love with it and went career.
So what made you fall in love with it? What was it?
Helping people, meeting people. It's something new every day, which is the best part about it. Because I have like undiagnosed ADD, and I need that like stimulation, like different situations and stuff like that. So this really gave me that.
So what's the typical day like?
I was just Can you run us through a day? Because I'm so curious about this.
So I'll take a step back. So there's different tracks you can do with the fire department. So you have like the EMS track, which is your ambulance, and you have your fire, which is going to be your engines, your trucks, stuff like that. So a typical day for an ambulance is much busier than the fire side. So the way we run shifts in the county is you have 2 10-hour days and 2 14-hour nights. So we start our day at 6 a.m. and at 4 p.m. on day works, and we start at 4 p.m. and at 6 a.m. on night works. And then from there, it's just waiting for calls. We make dinner and breakfast and sometimes lunch and hang out. We train and we go on calls.
What's the weirdest call you've gotten?
Can you legally
Weird
talk about that?
how.
Like, is
I
that...
can.
Oh, you can legally talk about
Awesome.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So weird how?
Like the kind of thing that like 4 years later you talk to on a podcast and you're like, dude, I still cannot believe that went down.
Oh my God. Okay. Yes.
All right, yes.
So-
I'm so excited for this.
My very first medical call in the field. So we get hit for a call at one of the townhomes in Towson. And it had been 2 guys and a girl who were on PCP. And one of the guys went crazy, grabbed a butcher knife, started stabbing his friend. Literally stabbed him like, I think it was 6 stabs across the back and like 1 on the side.
Holy.
And I think 1 in the chest. And this guy is like, we had to do the coolest stuff for him, which is terrible because
We had
he's
to do
dying.
the coolest
He's dying. But like, that's when we get to do like all of our fun medical stuff. So yeah, it was just crazy. And we get him into the back. We're rushing him off to shock trauma. We're doing like needle decompressions, which is literally sticking a needle into their chest to release the pressure of the air that's building up in there because it's collapsing the lung. And then blood started pooling in there. It was like one thing after another. But it was my very first medical call in the field.
You're the coolest person I've ever met.
Yeah, we have very different jobs.
But it's terrible because our fun days are like your worst days ever, which is horrible, but that's what we do.
So that was your first call?
That was my first medical call in the field, yeah.
How did you not like vomit right then and there, like seeing that?
It's like a sick thing that we enjoy this stuff. Like, I don't even know if enjoy is the right word. But
Yeah.
that this interests us because that's what I'm doing. That's what I want to do. That's why I didn't throw up.
Have you always been
That's
like
why.
that?
Yes. Yep.
See, like, I immediately would, like, have to repress, like, every urge to, like, run away from that situation.
What happened to the guy that was like stabbing people? Like, where's he at these days?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I assume in jail.
Jail.
Still.
That sounds like a good place for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
So in
Yeah.
those instances, you have like a million cop cars there, and they go in, make sure the scene is safe, and then they allow you to come in.
So, like, I don't know. Maybe somebody here is more educated than me. Is that the cause of like is that like really good PCP, or is that like that was like they got like a bad batch? Is that like typical? Do you get a lot of PCP calls in Towson?
We don't.
Okay,
We
good.
get-
That's a
I
good
mean,
sign.
we get heroin calls.
That's Well,
But
that's
PCP,
Maryland,
no.
unfortunately. Yeah.
That feels like more like a 1980s thing, like having PCP. Around.
I don't know if I really know like PCP. Is that like similar
That's
to
angel
like?
dust, right?
Is it like similar to bath salts?
Everything I ever learned about drugs was from less than zero in all these 1980s movies.
I know a lot about meth because I really got into Breaking Bad, but that's about it.
I'm the most innocent person you'll ever meet. So like what you've just told me just sort of like
You
made
just
my
you
head
just stripped
explode.
all of his
Blow your
innocence away.
mind.
He just learned that PCP was a drug.
I was like, I just learned the like you're not supposed to talk to strangers thing. But like
Right.
so,
How many strangers have you been talking to?
well, one right
Here's
now.
one.
Yeah, we're talking to a stranger right now.
So
fair.
is that the best call you've been on, or is that just the weirdest?
That's one of the weirdest.
Uh-huh.
I think the best call is when we had a guy in cardiac arrest and we brought him back, who was clinically dead, and we brought him back.
How
It was
far
really
dead?
cool. Like asystole on the monitor for, I think 2 minutes.
Holy!
Brought him back. Yeah.
I keep stopping myself from saying stuff, but like, 2
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy,
Oh,
right?
wow.
How much longer could he have gone?
I mean, you can go a while. It's just the
Oh.
brain damage that occurs from it.
Yeah.
Holy cow!
Wow. Jeez.
Our super producer texts us questions. So sorry. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
why
We're
Fine.
getting
I
questions from Aaron.
figured.
like it's just like this.
Wait, oh yes. Oh my gosh, that's a great question. So Aaron texted a question. Did he have any stories about being dead? That guy that you saved? Like, did he like go on to write a book about like my time meeting Jesus? You know how dead guys sound?
I would buy that book. No, I think that's the worst part about the job is once you drop him off at the hospital, That's it.
You don't get any more background on that story.
not really.
Mm-hmm.
If you end up, like we brought him to shock trauma again, and we rarely go to shock trauma. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
if you happen to, or you know the nurses, you can check in, but
Mm-hmm.
for the most part,
have you ever had?
gone.
Have you ever had somebody like multiple times? Like it's like or becomes a regular.
our heroin addicts. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And nursing home people, yeah.
Yeah.
You get to know people very well.
So does that get like obviously you've mentioned like their hardest days are kind of your most exciting because you are doing like a lot of interesting techniques and learning new things.
Right.
But does it start to weigh on you? Does it get like hard?
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to kind of compartmentalize. And I think, I was actually just on a call the other day for a car accident that was a fatal. And we went in, we checked the girl. She had been going too fast, kind of hydroplane lost control of the car and went sideways into the other lane. She got T-boned by the oncoming car. And what makes it a little bit easier is not actually knowing the person.
Yeah.
Like it's just a body, which sounds terrible, but that's the reality. It's a body that you can either fix or you can't, and you kind of keep the personalization away.
Yeah.
That's when it's the hardest, when you get to know who they were. And
Does it ever come home with you? Like, does it ever get too hard to leave just at work?
a lot of the hard calls we kind of talk about, but yeah, it sticks with you for a little bit, especially when you run into calls that are the same age. Like
Yeah.
I had a motorcycle accident and the guy was killed. I'm now 31, but at the time he and I were both 29.
Yeah.
And, it's little stuff like
Right.
that you take home. You try not to, but you talk it out and kind of move move past it.
So you and your like coworkers, do you guys like debrief a little bit?
If it's a really bad call, yeah, we'll all sit in, make sure everyone's okay. We also have a crisis intervention team. So any really bad call, they come to and just kind of see what we need, let us go home if we need to, or, whatever they can do.
I'm like trying to visualize how you come down from the adrenaline. Like how you work your way back into normalcy. Like, because you're
tough. Yeah.
So what do you do?
As in right after the call or like after the day?
Like both. Like how do you like just like function normally after you've just like seen, like, I know you just said like it's just a dead body, but like you come back from like some gnarly accident. How do you just go, okay, now we're going to interact as normal human beings?
It's kind of a skill. It's one of those things that you kind of learn over time. A lot of the way people come back down from that adrenaline high is joking. Like, you laugh, you kind of make lighthearted of the situation. But the reality is the emergencies never stop.
Yeah.
So you just kind of have to put that aside and move forward with the next one.
So what's your family think of it?
They think it's the coolest thing ever. Initially, they like the stories. Everyone likes the stories. Initially, I got into the county as a firefighter. So they freaked out about that because they don't want me running into burning buildings. But the fire side, the emergency medical technician side, they absolutely love. And I'm in paramedic school now. So that's going to be more of my career path moving forward.
Paramedic. Okay. Have you been doing much with fire stuff? Like, has there been any like, do you have any crazy like fire stories that are like not depressing and sad, or even the depressing and sad ones that we need to just work through together?
Yeah. We'll have a little counseling session.
That's what we're here for. That's what we Out of Bed is not a licensed therapist. I just want to make that clear.
Even though it has a couch.
Yeah, we have a couch. You are sitting on a couch, and we kind of have notes in front of us, but this is not a real therapy session. But anyway, sorry. Yeah. Any fire like related stories that are just like, oh wow.
I'll tell you my first fire.
Ooh, okay.
It was actually so this family was moving out of their house, and they had these beautiful like African carved statues. It was like giraffes, and I think it was like an elephant or something. They didn't want to bring it with them, so they put it into their fire pit and set it on fire, which like,
so there's like a flaming giraffe.
There's a flaming giraffe in the fire pit.
Where was it? Wait, where was the fire pit? Was that like in their backyard?
It was in the backyard.
Okay.
Yeah. Thankfully.
Just like a burning giraffe
in
effigy.
in the living room. And literally it just got so out of control that they had to call the fire department. But it wasn't big enough for us to actually take the hose off the engine. So we got their garden hose and put it out. So my very first fire, I put out with the garden hose.
That's amazing. Oh man.
Did you have one of those like special things on top of it, or was it just straight up hose?
It was just, you had to like put your finger in there to get any kind of pressure behind it. It was like dripping out.
Now this might be a dumb question, but I'm asking because I actually had a friend who was over here actually a little bit ago who was telling me about him having to potentially order an ambulance, like get an ambulance to come to him. When an ambulance comes, like you gotta like pay for it. Like it's like $300 to $500 apparently.
Nobody ever tells you that, by the way.
Yeah, nobody tells you like, hey, I need an ambulance, and like, are you sure it's $900? So like when the fire truck comes, like this may be a dumb question. Maybe it's similar to the police. Like we're paying for it with our taxes or something. But like, do they have to like pay for you to use their own garden hose to put out their fire pit fire?
But I feel like in that case they should have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like come on, like
at least it's
bitch, you could have done this yourself. Like,
let me show you.
Yeah, really. Yeah, you see this hose you have attached to your house? You could have put out the stupid giraffe with it. Oh my gosh.
So go ahead.
Yeah, we got a picture of it, and that's like framed.
You just have like a framed burning giraffe. That's amazing.
So, have you ever been in a life-threatening situation to you?
There was a guy with PCP that was stabbing her, trying to stab her.
To me, not. I mean, we've had combative patients, but like, not. I wouldn't say life-threatening.
Okay.
Yet. I still have a lot of years doing this.
Well, that's good, and I just want it to be known that we don't hope that for you.
Yeah.
No, not
But
at
if
all.
that does ever, if that does ever happen, please come back for episode 2 because we
I
need
just
people to
imagine you
listen.
going, yeah, you want to see my death wound?
I was dead for 2 minutes.
They brought me back.
So when like the TV shows like Cops and all that kind of stuff, and you know when they follow like emergency people around, do they hit it on the head or is it like completely?
No, I mean, some of our calls are crazy. Like they have on the shows like Chicago Fire, like Chicago PD, all that stuff.
Kevin's getting ready to go. Bye, Kevin.
Bye, Kevin.
Thank you so much for coming. Kevin's going to be on an episode soon. He hasn't agreed to it yet. Have you agreed to it? Will you agree to it?
I do agree to it.
Perfect. He agrees to it, everybody.
Contractually obligated.
Kevin will be here soon. We'll record an episode because he lives here and it's easy to get a hold of him.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Kevin.
You're just gonna show up in his bedroom one day and like,
Kevin, it's time for the podcast.
Lean over.
Wake up, buddy. That's how I wake up everybody in this house.
Wake up, little snoozy.
I go around to every single room and just wake every roommate up.
Can we actually do that? Because that sounds really fun.
So quick story. When I was still in youth ministry, we would have retreats or conferences or something like that where we're going somewhere and we're like, it's like an overnight with the teens and high school teens, like especially high school guys, trying to get them to get up in the morning and like wake up is just hell. So that was my favorite part of the job. Like I would, if we were at like a hotel, I would just like knock on their door and like all sorts of, like I would basically like sing a song with the knocks on the door. If it was like a retreat situation or like a work camp or something where they're in like a big communal room, I'd like flip the lights on and off and just like scream super loud and be like, "Good morning, everybody. It's time to wake up." So I don't think, Aaron, that you want me to be the one waking you guys up.
That was the most flamboyant youth ministry wake up call I've ever.
I like to wake people up. I want people to think Liberace is waking them up every single morning. Is that too dated of a reference?
Nope.
The only reason I know who Liberace was is because he was a guest at the very first WrestleMania. Is the only reason I know.
want the teaser image of this podcast to be
Liberace,
like dressed as Liberace,
just like a picture of Liberace at the first WrestleMania with my head photoshopped
with him
on it.
sitting in front of a piano, rising up into heaven.
Yeah, and then the description says, "Krissy is our guest, everybody." Oh man! So, Krissy, what are your thoughts on Liberace? I'm just kidding. What did Liberace? He was like a dancer, like a singer.
No, he was a singer and piano player.
See, I didn't know that. I thought that was
There was an
John.
HBO movie like 2 years ago where Michael Douglas played Liberace.
Oh, that's right. I do remember seeing ads for that in between episodes of Game of Thrones.
It was highly disturbing. So,
The documentary?
yeah, I'm gonna have a nightmare about Liberace tonight. Thanks, bud.
Yeah. I think most people that think about Liberace have nightmares about him.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking about Game of Thrones, though.
Yeah. So, all right. So what is your favorite, who's your favorite Game of Thrones character?
Oh, I don't know it that well.
You don't know it that well? Mm-mm. Okay. Do you, like, have you watched any of it?
I have watched 2 episodes.
Okay. Did you watch like 2 random episodes, or you're like, I'm gonna try to get into this and watch the first 2 episodes and like, fuck this, I'm out?
No, the problem was
that was our F word. We get one F word for the podcast, and I wasted it on Game of Thrones after she's telling stories about PCP like stab victims, and I'm like F Game of Thrones.
I'll give it to you.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
So you get 1.
Yeah, you still
I get one?
You still get an F. I just wasted my F.
I meant to ask you that in the beginning.
Oh, you say whatever the hell you want. I don't care.
Okay.
My priest ain't listening to this.
So, like, Game of Thrones, like, if you see somebody get all sliced up and diced up, do you think, like, yeah, I could patch that up?
Yes. Yeah, it's funny now that I know more of the medical side, I can actually look at people and be like, oh, this is what I would do in that case. And
You could have saved the red wedding. That's a
She doesn't get the reference.
nobody. I don't know if anybody in the actually Aaron watches Game of Thrones. Do you watch Game of Thrones, Matt?
No.
It's good. I'm a fan.
Walking Dead, yeah. Not Game of
God,
Thrones.
I haven't.
Dead I
I'm
can
like,
talk about.
I stopped after. I haven't watched this last. I watched like the first couple episodes of this last season.
Okay, did you watch this last season?
No, I'm behind on that.
Okay, I was
That's
about to
fine,
ask
yeah.
you if you thought like somebody could survive a certain particular event. Because I looked at it
Can
and I
I-
was like, no,
Yeah.
nope,
You
definitely
can talk
not.
about it. I probably
Yeah.
won't watch it.
So somebody gets slit across the throat, directly across the throat,
Okay.
and is down and out for 35 seconds, 40
And they like
seconds to a
jump back
minute.
up.
No, then he calls over to a guy and says, patch him up, bring him back.
Like straight across through
Straight
carotid,
across,
jugular,
right there.
all that. No.
No.
That's exactly
No.
what I thought.
Once you hit an artery vein, you're done.
What about Hershel? Like when Hershel got his like head nearly chopped off.
I gotta think. Yeah. Oh no. He's
No.
not going back.
So
to that.
that was my first attempt at like a viral Vine. I was like, I'm gonna go because that was Vine was still a thing at the time, and I was like, guaranteed this is gonna go viral. I'm gonna become like Viner is gonna be my new career path, and I took the clip from from Sorcerer's Stone, the first Harry Potter, where they meet nearly headless Nick. Spoiler alert, Hershel dies in Walking Dead, by the way, everybody. Also, spoiler alert for Harry Potter, there's a guy that's nearly headless.
Nearly headless.
Yeah, so is it Harry or Ron that says it? It's Ron, right? Oh, no, it's Hermione.
It's nearly
Yeah,
headless.
nearly headless. How can you be nearly headless? And then I cut to Hershel getting his head almost chopped off. Like
this.
they purposefully did that. Like they very purposefully didn't chop his head all the way off. They gave him like a little like
like a little dangle.
little angle. Yeah.
So nearly headless. How can you be nearly headless? And it cuts to Hershel getting his head almost chopped off, and then it cuts back to Ron going, "Ugh!" It was amazing. I was so proud of that Vine, and all I got was like one friend that was like, "Spoilers!" and like getting mad at me. It's like, if you don't watch Walking Dead every Sunday, then what are you doing with your life?
Right.
By the way, good luck with that Vine career.
Yeah, really. I'm holding out hope for Vine 2. Come on, make Vine 2 a reality, everybody.
That might happen. People
Yeah.
are talking about it.
I did get you as a social media expert. I will. Matt is a social media expert, by the way. You'll be proud of me for this one. I did get one that pretty much went viral because it went on the Mount's website. I went to Mount St. Mary's University for college, and the the summer after I technically graduated, I was taking like a couple extra classes, and the bell tower caught on fire. We probably, if you had been in Emmitsburg, we would have called you. And the lightning struck the bell tower, and so the bell tower's on fire.
This is the plot to Back to the Future, by the way.
Yeah, basically.
just gonna say this
yeah,
must have
Save the bell tower.
yeah. So I went back to 1808 when the Mount was founded, and I saved Mount St. Mary's. Now,
Marty, we gotta go back to the future.
I gotta go back. We've gotta go back, Marty.
We gotta go back to the mount.
We gotta go back to the Mount. So I called. First of all, I was the one that called the first responders, and then I made a Vine of the bell tower on fire, and then said some inspirational bullshit about the Mount, like, we will persevere, like, we will not go quietly into the night, that kind of stuff. And
The speech to independence.
yeah. Yes, basically. This is our independence. This is our Independence Day, and we will not go quietly into the night, even if the Mount bell tower gets struck by lightning.
Where this podcast is going.
Oh wait,
we don't
you're
need
playing Back to the
roads.
Future, and I'm trying to do an Independence
I
Day
was like,
speech.
what are you doing?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. The only song I remember from Back to the Future is "The Power of Love." So
Sometimes when I'm on 95, I crank that song that Aaron just played.
and then you hit 88 miles per hour,
No, I get that minivan to about 73.
and you're like, I almost went back to the future.
Here you go.
There we go. Now I can say, and I don't want to say that. It's the moment is past, Aaron. So anyway, my Vine got on the Mount's website for a while. So I imagine the article still might be up on the Mounts website, and then there's just going to be like a broken, like, it'll say like a broken link or something to a Vine that no longer exists. Because
So sad.
Twitter just killed it.
We have a guest.
Yeah, shit, we have a
Krissy.
guest. I'm so sorry, Krissy.
We remember
You
you.
can talk about whatever you want.
Yeah, what do you
I'm here
want to
drinking,
talk
we're
about,
good.
dude? We're just partying here. What do you want to like? So we've got your dog who sounds amazing, and next time you were gonna bring him, we'll put Romeo in a crate. I don't care about Romeo. It's not my cat. Aaron's so sad right now.
Put it in that
My
automated
cat.
pooper scoop.
Yeah, it's got
going on.
yeah. Romeo's got his like transformer ass like kitty litter box, so we're fine.
By the way, it just moves it to another compartment. It doesn't put it in a bag and send it down a chute.
If only.
That's more expensive for that.
Yeah.
yeah. What do you?
I was like, what is that doing? It's just moving the job somewhere else.
That's like the postal service for like poop. I don't know what you're talking about, Matt.
Our
That's
podcast is brought to you by Nature's Miracle Cat Litter. Okay.
Available at Petco and PetSmart and
Yeah.
all available pet goods
Yeah.
stores.
Let's be real. Today's podcast is brought to you by alcohol. I don't know what's going on.
There he is.
Yeah. Oh, Romeo, how you doing, buddy? Romeo just walked in. Everybody say hi to Romeo. Romeo. So you have an adorable ass dog.
Mm-hmm.
You have a crazy ass job.
Yes.
What else do you do? Like, what else are you passionate about? What is important in your life?
So, actually, one of my huge passions is field hockey.
Oh my gosh! Please talk more. That's so cool. What are there positions in field hockey?
There are so many
There are.
positions.
I look to the guy who used to be a sports writer because I'm like,
It's
I
the
don't
one
know
sport
about
I never
sports.
covered.
Really?
Oh, really?
Oh my gosh.
I even covered cheerleading, but somehow never field hockey.
Can you please explain field hockey to me? Because I've actually never watched or known much about it.
What would you like to know about field
So
Where did it all begin for you?
Yeah. What got
Okay.
you into field hockey? How long have you been
So
playing?
it was growing up. My dad was like a huge soccer and lacrosse fan, so I grew up playing those sports. And when I got to middle school, in gym class, we played field hockey, and I fell in love with it. So my freshman year of high school, I tried out for the field hockey team, made it, and I played field hockey up into college.
So what position did you play?
Everywhere.
Everywhere?
So I was mainly midfield. Hi. Sorry, the cat's really distracting.
Yeah.
And then my senior year, my coach decided to switch up the lineup and put me on defense.
Okay.
And I played defense for a year, loved it, went to college, and I played a defensive midi.
So where did you go
I
to
did.
high school and college?
High school, Hereford High School.
Okay,
And then I went to McDaniel College.
Oh, nice. McDaniel's awesome.
nice. So you just stayed in Maryland your entire life?
Yeah, sad, right?
No.
That's not sad at all. No, that's fine.
Now I'm like, why didn't I go to like North Carolina? Why didn't I go to like anywhere else and just
Dude,
see the
I mean,
world?
I went to school in Ohio and I came right back.
Yeah.
You know what? That happened
To
to,
be
like
fair-
half my class. They all came back to Towson.
Here's the thing, though. I do want to note that when most people say, I want to explore the world, I want to broaden my horizons, they don't go to Ohio.
That is accurate.
Where
That is
in
accurate.
Ohio did you go to school?
The University of Dayton,
Dayton?
which is like 45 minutes outside of Cincinnati,
Ooh.
hour and a half away from Indianapolis,
That's
right
fun.
smack dab in the middle of nothing.
Why Ohio?
There was no rhyme or reason. I was 17 years old and they offered scholarship money. Like,
that sounds
and
about
it was
right.
like, I actually. Funny story is, I initially, before I actually applied, thought it was Daytona.
Like Daytona, Florida?
And yes, I was like, wow, Florida sounds fantastic. And then they were like, nope, 500 miles to the west. And then I didn't even visit the campus.
So you were a
before I got
geography major in college then, right?
there. Dude. No one said I was a strong student. They were
Yeah.
like, well, let's bring this guy out here.
Yeah.
So
I want to do the internet for my career because I don't know anything about
I had
maps.
never been to Ohio before late August 1996. And I was like, okay, all right, I guess I'm going to do this now.
Do you have a big like knowledge base about Ohio now?
No, screw Ohio.
Yeah.
The only reason I want to go to Ohio is for Cedar Point.
Yes.
Did you ever go to
that is
Cedar Point?
amazing.
Here's the thing. Ohio's got a lot of cool shit.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
All spread out. It's a huge ass state.
Okay, yeah,
Like-
it's all spread out. But like Cedar Point,
Sandusky, Ohio, home of Cedar Point and Tommy Boy.
great movie.
Boy.
Tommy Boy's
Right.
great film.
And then they have Kings Island outside of Cincinnati.
Okay.
And then nothing else.
Hold on. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame
Dude,
is in what
it's
city?
next to Cleveland.
Cleveland.
The heart of rock
Okay.
and roll is beaten in Cleveland.
Okay, all right.
According
So,
to Huey Lewis.
so Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the College Football Hall of Fame.
No.
Wait, what's in? There's a football something in Ohio, right? I mean, I know there's a shitty like football team in the
The
Cleveland
Pro
Browns,
Football
but-
the Pro Football Hall of Fame is
Pro-
in Canton.
Okay, thank you. I knew Canton had something. So Pro Football Hall of Fame, Cedar Point, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They got great museums and like some quality, like one quality.
They
roller
have
coasters.
terrible chili
Terrible
that they talk about.
Skyline. Everybody talks about Cincinnati Skyline.
Like it is spaghetti with spaghetti sauce, but they call it chili for some reason. And
Wait, I thought it was spaghetti with chili on it. I'm Googling this right now.
They have really odd names for their chili, like Five Way or something like that.
I'm
Skyline.
Googling
Like
this.
I went and covered a game in Cincinnati with the Ravens and Bengals, and in the press box there was two things that stood out: Bootsy Collins from the P-Funk and Skyline Chili, which looked gross as hell.
All right.
You
Okay.
didn't try
so
it?
Oh no, I did.
Cincinnati
and then I
Chili.
was like, never again.
Wikipedia informs me that Cincinnati Chili is a Mediterranean spiced meat sauce. So used as a topping for spaghetti, a two-way, or hot dogs. Both dishes developed by Macedonian immigrant restaurateurs in the 1920s.
By the way, boiled hot dogs. Boiled hot dogs.
Ingredients include ground beef, water, or stock, tomato paste, spices such as cinnamon, nutmeg, you've already lost me, allspice, cloves, cumin, chili powder, bay leaf, and in some recipes, unsweetened dark chocolate in a... What the I was about to use another
That's
F.
mine.
That's your F.
Get that word.
Yeah, go for it right now. Like, this is awful. Yeah, I mean, it says it's often confusing to those unfamiliar with it who expect the dish to be similar to chili con carne, but it's like sweet because it's got the cinnamon and stuff in it. I did know about the cinnamon and was very confused.
There was a Skyline Chili outside my sophomore dorm, and it smelled like a mortuary. Like they were like burning all the bodies in there.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, it was, and then everybody goes there.
I mean,
Everybody acts like it's like freaking crack
in their
or
defense,
PCP in Towson.
yeah,
PCP.
in their defense, you're gonna need that much fuel if you're playing field hockey. That's
That'll
right. That's a
get you up the
segue.
field real
That's
quick.
a segue right there, people. Bringing that shit around.
That's the circle of life right there.
Yeah. So back to field hockey. How did we get from field hockey to freaking?
Skyline Chili.
Oh, because we were talking about your college.
No, she was talking about. I said. I
Oh,
went to
staying
Ohio.
in Maryland.
Staying in
Okay.
Maryland.
Maryland.
So staying in Maryland, McDaniel.
You wanted to go to Sandusky.
yeah.
Yes, I do.
McDaniel's a great college. That's the one that's like kind of on a hill.
Yep.
They call it. They say it's on a
The
hill.
hill.
Yeah,
Yes.
the hill.
The old
there's
Western
nowhere
Maryland
there's
college.
nowhere to park.
Nope.
Yeah, I've really struggled. I've gone there like twice.
It's a
and
charming little town.
it's adorable.
It's very small.
As somebody who went to school in Emmitsburg, where there are two stoplights, McDaniel seemed like it was in the middle of a bustling metropolis. So I loved it.
That's
I
fun.
thought it was great.
You had the Shamrock and Rocky's Pizza, right? That was pretty much all that was in Emmitsburg.
We don't talk about the Shamrock because, well, actually, so I don't know if this was true, but there's a restaurant near the Mount called the Shamrock, and the rumor was that the KKK met there for like meetings, and we also don't talk about it because it's in Thurmont. It's not in Emmitsburg. Thurmont is much lower class than Emmitsburg.
The Shamrock has delicious pies.
Yeah, but if
Lots
you're,
of racism, but delicious pies.
if you're talking about
this podcast
Emmitsburg,
is brought to you by the Shamrock and
I thought it was going to be brought to you by racist pies. If we're talking about Emmitsburg, we're talking about one restaurant and one restaurant only, and that is the Yacht House. The Yacht House had It was the only bar in town, and it had a bunch of like patches from like firefighters from all over the country. They would just like come and like they would all. Is that like a thing? Like
That's a thing.
That's a thing. It was next to a fire station, actually.
Yeah. So it's really fun. Every station has their own patch, and then every county. Sometimes they're state patches.
Yeah.
They have a specific one, so it's fun to like go around and collect them. And
That's
they're
cool.
like $5 a piece.
That's so cool. I love that.
Hey, I'm gonna take this back to field hockey.
Yeah, I wanted to get back there because I know nothing about that.
How good
I'm
are
so
you at
curious.
it? Like, how legitimately are you good at field hockey?
Well, in high school, so when I went to college, I was up for, I can't remember what the actual title. It wasn't All-American, but it was like one of those
Like All McDaniel.
Yeah, no, it was
This was in high
All
school?
McDaniel. This was
All
in
Western
college.
Maryland.
So it'd be all region
It
or
was-
something like that?
I have to think about what the name of it was. I'll come up with it.
Yeah.
But in high school, my senior year, I got Player of the Year for Baltimore County, first team All-State, All-County. I won a lot of awards.
That's so cool.
In high school, yeah.
So every other sport seemingly has like the next level. When you were done at McDaniel,
So what I wanted to do was I ended up transferring to Towson University
Okay.
my junior year.
Okay.
cool.
And I wanted to continue playing at Towson, but they were weird about walk-ons. So when I went there, I was talking to the coach. She's like, hey, come to one of these like summer league games. Let me watch you play. And it was like the last one. I was going to have to pay for it. So I was like, you know what? I just never went through with it. And I wish I had. I miss
Yeah.
it so much that a few years later, I actually assistant coached for a middle
so
school
cool.
team. It was an all-star team. So
Nice.
it got them ready for the high school level.
That's so fun.
so is it in your rear view now, or like do you still
I
play?
still would love to. I want to do more like summer leagues or
Yeah. Are
some
there
kind of,
there
a
like
social
rec
league.
leagues or summer leagues for that?
There are, but they're so hard to find.
Yeah.
Like the Baltimore leagues don't have field hockey. They
Yeah.
got football. They got like
Right.
bocce ball. And
Speaking of which, I actually scored a goal in soccer for the Volo City.
This is the second straight week he's talked about.
I just I
Nice,
scored a goal
congrats.
and in our last game, and it was amazing. But anyway, yeah, they don't have field hockey, and that is I guess. I mean, I guess unfortunately there isn't as much of a demand for it. I guess it's like kind of it has kind of been labeled like a girls' sport. I've never seen a guy play it. Are there co-ed?
yes.
That
There
sounds
are
amazing.
male teams.
Oh, there are like male
Where?
field hockey
How do you
teams?
find them?
They are.
Do they
so
they
I
also have to wear
act-
skirts?
They
That would be
No.
good.
keep you covered. Yeah, no, we actually my high school career, I also was on a club team, the Ocelots club team, which was a co-ed club team.
That's a very intimidating
So-
mascot, the Ocelots.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd
The skirts
be,
kind of took it down a little bit, but yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and the guys were insane. They were so good and so fun to watch. They actually have Olympic men's
Field hockey?
teams,
Really?
and female teams. Yeah,
Like the Summer Olympics?
they do.
Really? Well, I don't watch the Olympics really, so I didn't know.
Like
Yeah.
like in basketball, like guys know, like the really good players know the playgrounds to hit up. Like, is there a gathering spot for good ass field hockey players?
I'm still trying to find it.
Yeah, because
It's so difficult.
Yeah. I mean, I found when I would go to like I played like soccer in Fed Hill with friends, and I'm in a very, very social league, like very social, and I say that as in we are terrible. But before we have our games, there's always like a bunch of people playing like a pickup game, and they're like, "Yeah, we play every Thursday here at like 6, and then we play over at Patterson Park at like 5:00." I don't know why he's from New York, but they
Hey, he's Italian. He's
Yeah.
from New York.
all I can do, like ever since dating Frankie, all I can do is Italian, like stereotypical accents.
Bibbidi bobbidi, hey, pizza.
It's a me, Mario. Anyway,
Well, now we just lost the Italians.
yeah. Now.
First the redheads.
Now my fiance, Aaron's girlfriend, and our future like family in-laws will not listen to our podcast.
They're going to burn you in effigy at your wedding.
Yeah, I know. I do want to say one quick thing about...
One quick thing.
That's gonna get me like excommunicated.
We need a segment called One Quick Thing with Chris.
Yeah, really. It's gonna be really so bad. My fiance is very Italian. I'm saying this to Krissy because she's the only one that hasn't heard me talk at length about my amazing, beautiful fiance, Frankie. I love you very much, Frankie. Please don't hate me after this. So we were at like an event, and it was like me and Frankie and Aaron and Deanna. Deanna is Frankie's sister and Aaron's boyfriend. Aaron's girlfriend. There we go. Said it right. I fixed it. And their parents. And I think Aaron likes to push Frankie and Deanna's mom's buttons. And likes to he likes to like, you don't mess with Italian women. That's just a bad idea. And Aaron likes to poke the bear and try to mess with Italian women. And he would say things about their like future kid. They would joke about their future kids' names, and he would try to like come up with all sorts of crazy names that would just piss their mom off a lot. And I remember her she said something like, "You better not name my future grandkid something stupid like Tyler." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right. We should name him something normal like Luigi." I wasn't allowed back at the house for like a month after that.
So
field hockey.
Field hockey.
Anyway.
So the knock that I always heard when I was covering sports was that nobody ever scored in field hockey.
Is that a thing?
Is that
Wait.
right?
So what I actually talk to people about this. That, like, you either love the sport or you hate it because there are so many fouls that happen. So it's a very stop and go game.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So
what would like be
score
considered a foul?
If it hits your foot, if you pop the ball up too high, if you hit it with your hand, the wrong side of the stick, there's a lot of different things.
Okay.
But so field hockey, you can only use one side of the stick. It's not like hockey where you can.
Oh, you can't. You can only use what?
Right. So there's a flat side and there's a rounded side. You can only use the flat side.
Really? Okay. Mm-hmm. Is there like a reasoning? Like, does using the rounded side give you any kind of advantage?
I don't think so.
I mean, I guess it kind of allows you to, I guess, dribble. Can you or not? What would you call it in hockey, Aaron? Like
deking? Or
deking?
like,
I guess like when you're just kind of passing it between yourself. I don't know.
Yeah, so the difference is you just have to turn the stick over when you do that. Instead of, like, going side to side, you just turn it.
Well, okay.
Is that like cradling in lacrosse, kind of? Or is it?
It's the same motion.
Yeah, okay, so you're, like, cradling it. Okay. So that is that why there's a low score then? Because there's a lot of stop and start?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say so. And it typically, unless it's, like, a really great team against a really bad team, you're going to see pretty low scores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I always like the one of the editors of the paper I worked at, she loved field hockey. But she said, "Yeah, we actually had a goal this week." And I was like,
Yeah.
I need to like Google field hockey because if I'm thinking of it correctly, I feel like the sticks are pretty short, right? Are the sticks like relatively?
You want them to be about hip height.
Okay, which is that is Aaron? Can you correct me? Is that's shorter than a regular hockey stick, right?
Way shorter.
Way shorter. Yeah. Okay, because every time I like when I think about field hockey, yeah, I'm googling pictures. My back is hurting just watching because I feel like
yeah, it always seems like somebody's leaning over.
Yeah, like you're just like
majority.
leaned over. Like it reminded me of like when we were kids and like when Razor scooters first became like a big thing. There was like all the cool kids would put the Razor scooter handlebars like super duper low. Like they would just put it like slam it as low as they could, and then you just had people like hunched over.
Yeah.
And it was so bad. Like, that's what I think about when I think about field hockey. And all the pictures that I've Googled have confirmed it with me because everybody looks like they're going to have major lower back problems.
I got to say,
older.
Aaron like tried to get us to ask a question of where did hockey come from, field hockey come from? And all I think about is like Alice Cooper in Wayne's World when like he starts explaining Milwaukee.
Can you go further with that? Because I don't remember that from... I guess I don't remember that specific scene.
Well, like they go to see Alice Cooper in Milwaukee, and they go backstage and they meet him, and he's like, "Well, few people know that Milwaukee is Milwaukee. And then all of a sudden he starts talking about how they're from the Algonquins and all that kind of stuff. I just like imagine you like giving me a history lesson on field hockey right now.
So
I wish I could. I don't know history that well with
Yeah.
it. I want to say it's Indians, but that might have been lacrosse.
yeah.
Yep.
So Aaron sent us a message saying, "Is there a shootout in field hockey?"
Yes.
So, like, I guess at the end of the game, if it's tied, do you guys have a shootout?
It's called a stroke off. They're penalty strokes. So
I gotta step away from the mic.
The second you said that, I just looked at Aaron, and Aaron was like, oh no. I think that's
guess
how I'm
we
going to get up
call
and get
it.
another beer, I guess.
Welcome to Out of Bed, hosted by two 12-year-old boys.
Yeah. She's a stroke off.
And produced by an 8-year-old boy.
Yeah, really.
Sorry.
Anyway,
sorry
sorry.
to disrespect the
So
sport that
there-
you love. Tell us more.
There is a completely dignified and not at all funny stroke off at the end of the game.
we call it a stroke off. It's technically penalty strokes.
Penalty strokes, okay. Oh, man. So,
Does nobody sit around in a circle and go, hey, can we come up with a better name for this
Yeah.
than that?
No.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
you would think so, right?
It's like the guy that came up with like the Hot Pockets jingle, and he was like, Hot Pockets, and they're like, done. It's it. We figured it out. It's fine. We don't need to think about it anymore. Somebody's like, stroke off. Okay, sure, whatever.
Jim Gaffigan has joined our podcast.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. This is brought to you by Jim Gaffigan. Why is he making Jim Gaffigan jokes? That was my best attempt at doing Jim Gaffigan shtick. Anyway, so does it work similarly to a regular shootout? Like, is it just like you go and then somebody from the other team goes, and if you make it and they don't, like?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
set up the exact same way.
Now, what about field hockey attracted you to it more than soccer or like volleyball or any other sport that you could have potentially played? Like, what was it about field hockey? So you said gym. I guess you started playing it.
Yeah, so it was my strongest sport. It was the one I was best in. I was most aggressive in that sport, and it just came naturally.
Is there a lot of trash talking in field hockey?
Not really.
Do people like lose their
really.
minds when people score? Like,
Yeah,
like
you,
what's the
like,
celebrations like?
Don't really want to piss a field hockey player off because they have this like really
Big ass stick.
stick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Do they wield it? Do they get like all...
Not really, but like you can kind of.
I mean, hockey has
if you
fights. Are
want
there
to,
any
yeah.
fights in field hockey? Do the refs let it? Oh, you can fight. Yeah.
No, not really.
Just
Yeah.
like guys like will sit there and stereotype it and go like, oh, you get a bunch of teenage girls around and like in a hotly contested situation, they're gonna start fighting. But like,
Right.
How do you like? So no, everybody keeps their cool.
I have never been in a field hockey game where any kind of fight breaks out, anything like that. Normally, you just take it out. Like, you purposefully hit into their feet. Like, you get them to make penalties, like, to get back at them.
So the penalties. So you mentioned using the rounded side of your stick or hitting the ball too high. Do you get a lot of like penalties? Say like in soccer, where it's like people like tripping or like very visually like. Maybe even what's the term in soccer when they like fake, they kind of like diving, like people like
the dramatic.
like very dramatic, like oh you touched me with the stick and now I'm gonna act like I'm dying of like stab wounds from a PCP
Rolling from one
addict.
sideline to the next.
Yeah. No, I think that's soccer specific.
Okay.
Men's soccer specific.
Yeah.
Also, Duke basketball players do it.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, professional wrestlers do it as well. They act like it hurts a lot more than it does. So yeah. Anyway,
It's
Sorry.
real to me.
It's still real to me, damn it. So yeah, is there like a lot of pushing and shoving? Is any of that allowed, or is it like completely zero contact whatsoever?
Oh, you can push and shove.
You can push and shove.
Yeah.
At what point would the ref get involved? Like, would it have to escalate pretty heavily, or?
Yeah, as long as you're not like stopping the person from getting the ball, playing the game, you can normally do a little bit of pushing and shoving. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, like, if you ever have a family, like, you want, like, your daughter or son to play the sport?
Yes, I would love it.
I just assumed you didn't have a family because you didn't mention it.
I don't. No, I don't. But eventually,
She's
I
got
would
a dog,
love it.
Matt.
I have
Jeez.
a dog. I also have a cat. I didn't mention that.
You have a cat?
But I
How did they
do.
get along?
They don't.
They don't.
No, because he's a 10-year-old cat and an 8-month-old puppy.
So
So
Chase and Romeo would have gotten along just swimmingly. It would have just been like at
I
home.
told Aaron, I was like, he's gonna stalk that cat. People stalk him all
Just
over.
straight
the
up
He
house.
Asking
might
and
eat
scratching.
him. He might eat the cat. What do you have like a favorite moment in field hockey or like a game that stood out to you? Any big champ? I mean, you said you won like a lot of awards in hockey or field hockey. What were some of the like cool like moments you remember?
My favorite hockey moment was the semi-state finals my senior year. It was like the best game I've ever played in my life, and I scored the winning goal for that, actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
Did you win the championship?
we did.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So was that your only championship?
No, we won 2 of my 4 years, and we made it to regionals and semis. We made it to semis my junior year. We lost in regionals my sophomore.
You're Hereford, right?
Hereford.
So the Bulls?
The Bulls, the Lady Bulls. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that has the biggest campus
Lady Bulls.
I've ever seen of any high school.
Yeah.
Wait,
Have you seen our
Lady
dip?
Bulls just cows?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, aren't Lady Bulls just cows? Yeah.
They used to have a hell of a football team.
So you
Hereford
know.
used to be-
wait, so your field hockey team was the cows? I mean, technically,
That's South Park.
I mean, if you're the Lady Bulls, like a lady bull is a cow. I mean, am I wrong?
It sounds so intimidating.
Somebody correct me.
You know
Did
what?
you just like moo at your opponents?
You have a state champion Lady Bull right in front of you.
Yeah. And I'm
you're
mooing
arguing
at her.
How?
her existence in a metaphysical way.
I'm sorry. I'm just talking about biology here. It's important.
Hit him with the field hockey.
It's
stick.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please. That's fine.
Around
I
the
deserve
side.
it. I really deserve it. So, what else do you enjoy other than, so you haven't found field hockey to play just yet, at least. Hopefully you do. If I hear of anything, I will certainly let you know.
Yeah.
What else do you do in your free time other than hang out with your beautiful dog?
I love amusement parks.
Really?
Love amusement parks.
Okay. So obviously Cedar Point.
Cedar Point's on my list. I went to Busch Gardens this year.
Nice.
King's Dominion I haven't been to King's Dominion yet.
Okay.
This year.
Yeah.
But
Favorite amusement park?
Yeah, go please.
I think it's King's Dominion.
King's
Really?
Dominion.
Yeah, I do. I love Hershey Park too, though.
I love Hershey Park.
Yeah, they put in a lot of new coasters, but
So you're a coaster gal. That's like your.
Oh, yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
All right,
Your
best
go-to-
roller coaster you've ever been on?
is it Sky Rush? What? Okay, what is the one that goes like 0 to 60 and then it goes up into a loop? It's at Hershey Park.
Well, there's
like- Is
it
Sky
like
Rush is the one that
Fahrenheit?
like is winged.
It's not Sky Rush.
Is it Fahrenheit something?
Yeah,
It's
Fahrenheit.
not Fahrenheit.
451.
I feel like it starts with an S.
Storm Runner.
Storm Runner. Yeah, I remember.
That
Yeah, okay.
was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And then I will never remember the names from Busch Gardens.
Yeah.
They're like
Like
German.
Griffin. and-
Apollo's
Apollo's.
Alvin Geist. Is that
Apollo's
the one that-
Chariot is a really good one.
No. That's for Bolton.
Verbolten.
Yeah.
That scared the crap out of me because
Yeah.
no one warned me that it just dropped tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
'cause
thought I
that
was
was
gonna
like
die.
that was like the first time that had been done in North
Yeah.
America.
Yeah,
Like
that was
Apollo's
really cool.
Chariot to me is the scariest one there, and it's like because it gets up at the top, gets to like and it does a little dip as if to say like, oh yeah, okay, we're good, and then all of a sudden it just goes like, boom, and you
Yeah.
have no
The one that, like,
seatbelt.
kind of goes down and
Yeah, I liked
Yep.
Apollo's Chariot was really fun. It's a very quick one though. Apollo's Chariot's a very fast one.
No, that's a long one. It's fast and it's
I don't
like
remember it
big,
being
huge
that
hills.
I don't remember it being that long. I don't know.
So the best ride I've ever been on, I'll tell you this.
Yeah, please.
Is Hollywood Tower of Terror, Disney World, Disneyland.
Is that just up and
That's
down?
the drop,
Yeah,
right?
and the one in Disneyland got converted to Guardians of the Galaxy, but yeah, it'll take you up at the top. The doors open, then it goes down about 20 feet, all dark, and then goes back up, then goes back down, and like they'll have like optimal things. It's just like it's so well executed that it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And especially if you get like somebody that like is the bellhop that is selling the story, like sort of staring at you before you go. Yeah.
I think
Trick.
What's that?
Do the penny trick.
there's a
No.
penny trick.
You hold change in your hand, and when it drops, the change goes up.
Oh, that's fun.
That's cool.
Quicker.
I think my favorite roller coaster is probably Lightning Racer at
that
Hershey
one's
Park.
so fun.
Because first of all, I love wooden roller coasters. I think there's something really nostalgic and just dangerous about these amazing metal corkscrew roller coasters that are really intense but also really really safe. They're like driving like a really an Audi supercar, but then you get on Lightning Racer and it feels like Lamborghini when they make cars, there's a bit of danger to it and it feels like it's gonna go too fast, and it just it's made to go faster than it actually can handle. And Lightning Race, a wooden roller coaster, I feel has that element of danger that makes roller coasters a little bit
You know where
fun.
you need to go?
Where?
Knoebels. Have you been there?
Yeah.
Knoebels?
You
What's
can.
Knoebels?
The two wooden roller coasters there are fantastic.
Yeah.
The Phoenix is probably one of the best wooden roller coasters in the country. It just airtime for days. Your ass is out of your seat the entire time.
I think, and I think back to Lightning Racer though. I think the thing I like about Lightning Racer is that it's technically two roller coasters because it's two
race.
roller coasters racing each other, and
Brother Yell and King's Dominion used to do that too.
But not only is it the most fun roller coaster, but because it is technically two roller coasters, the line is split in half.
Right.
And so with any other roller coaster, I'm going to wait an hour, 45 minutes, half hour, whatever to get on it. But Lightning Racer, I have never waited more than 10 minutes to get on that roller coaster because it the line just goes so fast. So I will get on the red side and then I will go through the red side and then I'll get back in line and go through the green side and I'll do it again. I'll ride Lightning Racer 4 times. Wow,
you got to go to Knoebels.
Yeah, I would love to check that out.
Knoebels has 2 wooden roller coasters, and then they did one a metal roller coaster in the last couple of years.
Yeah,
but from a wooden roller coaster standpoint, what do you like, metal or
yeah? What's
steel?
your
I mean, yeah.
So it's a toss up because I feel a lot of the wooden ones give me a headache because they
they jerk you around a lot. It's
but then some of the new metal ones do too.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think I prefer metal. But I still love the wooden ones.
See, I want to do
hard.
I want to do their overall Kings Dominion's overhaul of the Hurler, the one they just did this year. It's called Twisted Timbers. It's a hybrid. They took a wooden and a metal and mixed them together.
Yeah.
See that? I don't even know how that would feel. The idea that things are sort of you're upside down going down a hill. That's crazy to me.
That one just came out this year?
Yeah. Yeah, they just started in the spring. Yeah, I went to Busch Gardens too, and I was sitting there that's one of the key dates for my wife and I was going to Busch Gardens.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah,
It was a really cool park. There's a lot going on there.
totally, and you'll get in shape by the end of it. It's it's really big and nothing's ever connected.
No, but they have wine tasting, and I'm a big tequila fan. I love tequila.
As you should be.
But you can't do a tequila tasting and then go on a roller coaster.
We got really sauced and
What?
went on Dark Castle, the dark ride.
Yeah.
And
What's
Who knows that?
they did. Bummer.
Yeah.
What's a good alcohol for theme parks?
Beer.
What's a safe? Is it just beer?
Probably beer. Yeah.
So I really enjoy beer, but ever since Aaron's moved in, Aaron, for those of you who don't know, Aaron moved in with his own liquor cabinet with alcohol that costs more than my student loans, and I've really started to get into different whiskey and scotch and different alcohol that Aaron has, and beer has started to become a little bit boring to me. I really enjoy beer, and maybe I just need to go.
I had many shock tops in me during Dark Castle, and that was so cheesy and so fun.
But so it's enough to it won't be dangerous.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's spinning around. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that's
and my then girlfriend was like, oh my gosh, this is terrible.
And that's why she's your then
But
girlfriend and not your current wife.
She totally knew the storyline the entire time, and she was like, watch. Here comes the mom. She's going to jump out now. And meanwhile, we're both drunk too. And we're like, oh, this is stupid. It's amazing. Yes.
I can see why you guys.
Oh, they have a virtual reality ride there. Did you ride that?
I've never been so sick in my life.
right?
I'm like great on these flips and turns and whatever. You put me in virtual reality, I'm like,
You know what I did? I put my son on that next to me. I forgot that you put glasses on. You basically block out the universe. I was like, I'm a terrible father.
Yeah, I used to be really scared of roller coasters. Like I was like deathly afraid of roller coasters, but I would go to the carnival as a kid and get on like what's the one like where you basically are like
where it like glues you to the wall.
You're like glued to the wall like a mental patient, and like it's like a giant circle and it just spins you around.
Swirling dervish or whatever.
The gravitron is the spaceship.
Yeah, it's basically like that, but it's like the carnival version that is like
open top.
It looks like a terrible like cage made by a 10-year-old. And I used to get on that like multiple times in a row and I'd be fine. But then I started going on roller coasters, and now anything that spins makes me nauseous. Like looking at somebody go on like the teacup ride, and I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna vomit, and I don't understand
Back in the
how
day,
that switched.
Back in the day, where in Kings Dominion, the volcano, there used to be rides in that mountain. So like there was Smurf Mountain in there. That's one thing. But they had a haunted river, and then in the basement they had one of those swirling things, and it was called the Time Shaft.
Yeah.
And like so, like there was all these rides built into that mountain, and they took all of them out to build that stupid roller coaster.
I'm so sad. That's so
Yeah, like just imagine like animatronics from Smurfs back in the mid '80s, like at King's Dominion.
So we've got dog, we've got crazy ass job, we've got amazing field hockey career, which hopefully one day will continue.
Yes.
We've got roller coasters. How do you think we did? Did we go to like? You are only the second guest that we've had that Aaron has just kind of gotten for us, and we've just had to go in relatively blind. I still stand by my segue from dog, like taking care of a life, to taking care of humans and making sure that they're safe. But anyway, how do you think we did? Did we do a good job of finding out?
Fantastic. Yeah.
Great.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
We started talking about your dog, and we ended it with roller coasters.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was a real roller coaster of a podcast, am I right?
A lot of ups and downs.
Oh, gosh.
A lot of downs over here.
Yeah, mostly downs on
All
my
the
end.
ups were on Krissy's side.
Can we post pictures of your dog, please?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Of course.
Does your dog have an Instagram that we should tag? Like, should we share?
You know what? I should do that.
Yeah, like at Chase.
No, he just goes on my Facebook.
Okay, that's fair. Do you have anything that you want to plug? Any like field hockey teams that you think people should know about? Any roller coasters that you think are quality for people to get on and check out?
Or pics from your job.
Or yeah, wait, I doubt. I feel like that's probably a no, but let's go for it. Yeah, any pictures?
So I would love to do that, but technically, when you take a picture on the job, it's property of the county.
Yeah.
So
I was
going
gonna say,
we
like,
need to
HIPAA?
get like permission. Well, a lot of like I'll send some pictures around.
Yeah. Do you have any pictures of PCP you can share with us?
I wish. That was a whirlwind. So I have like pictures from car accidents. As long as you don't get the people in it, you're okay. Like that, and then you got like a split one.
All I'm seeing is Aaron's face. I'm not
I don't
seeing.
want to see this. Don't show it to me.
It's intense.
Nope. 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 Nope.
Oh gosh.
Like
Nope. I'm not doing it.
Yes, you
no.
are. You're doing
Can
it.
you?
You're doing
No.
it.
Yeah,
You're
do.
doing it.
No.
Do it.
No. 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 No.
It's just a lip, Matt. It's just
No.
some guy's lip.
That looks like the movie Poltergeist.
It's just got a lip. It's just like
It's not a lip. It's a lack thereof.
Yes.
It's just a guy that's missing part of his lip. Jeez, man.
I remember asking you at some point during this podcast if you had vomited. I am going to vomit now.
Also, it looks like the guy's smiling. I just want to note that she showed us a picture of a guy who is missing a very large chunk in the middle of his lower lip, and it looks like he's smiling.
I think that was more for effect to get the picture. This is how big the gap is.
Typically, in the middle of the night, my children will come sleep with me. I think I'm going to go sleep in their bed to hopefully they can comfort me after that.
Kids, is it okay if Daddy comes and stays in your bed? He's scared.
I'm so terrified.
That was my impression of you, Matt. How did I do?
Well, I guess I do sound like a country bumpkin from Alabama. Thank you so much.
I was going for country bumpkin who went to college in Ohio, but close enough.
You know nothing of Ohio.
I do know nothing of Ohio. Anyway.
By the way, Cedar Point is sponsoring this podcast.
Yeah,
now.
this podcast is brought to you by roller coasters.
The Roller Coast.
The roller...
That's what it's called.
The roller...
Really?
Yeah,
Cedar Point is called the roller coast?
Yeah, they call it the Roller Coast because they're right on the Lake Erie.
That's like
never knew
barely...
that.
The millennium...
That's like barely a coast, though. That's like saying, like, oh, we've got like a river nearby, so we'll call it the coast.
You get on the Millennium Force and you drop 300 feet right.
I'm not saying Cedar Point isn't an amazing like amusement park, but calling it saying like you're on Lake Erie is like that's barely a coast.
You know,
it's like a lame ass beach.
The entire state of Ohio, if they didn't hate me for hating their stupid chili, now hate me and you for hating on Lake Erie.
Can we talk about all the guests we've lost from this podcast this week? So no more Gingers, no more Ohioans.
Who else? Italians.
Italians. We lost Italians.
There's two things I can't stand: intolerance of other people and the bloody Dutch.
Especially.
And on that note, Krissy, thank you so much for joining us for this shit show. I'm so sorry that you had to sit through all this, but I really appreciate you doing so.
No, it was so fun. Thanks for inviting me.
Of course,
Awesome.
thank you so
Great
much.
to have you on.
Do we have an outro, Aaron? Are you going to play an outro or something? Aaron's just sitting there, like,
texting his
screwing
buddies
around on his phone. Is there anything else you want to share before you leave?
No, I think that's it.
That-
if
you-
not, I'll come back again.
Please do. You are more than welcome back for an episode 2, as long as you bring more pictures of people with their lips cut off.
I will come with pictures and my dog.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. If you don't bring your dog, you're not welcome back in this house. But
It's time to go to bed.
yeah, so thank you guys so much for listening to episode 6. Holy shit, Matt, we did 6 episodes. Thank you so much for listening to episode 6 of Out of Bed. Once again, my name is Topher,
I'm Matt.
and this is our new outro song, at least until we choose a new one. So listen to it, and thank you very much. Goodbye.
Heart on the window, my eyes looking narrow, wishing you'd only added an arrow. Thought I was the first to come, the last to go, but you went out instead. Oh no, why you gotta bring me down?